right here, CEO of Dentsu Singapura and Indonesia. Welcome.
Thank you so much, really. Thanks for having me. It's strange for me to come back to Bali after four years now, and to come for work, not for a holiday. So yeah, it's been fantastic. I think the quality of the show, the speakers, the content is something that's really impressive.
Wow.
I've never been on a mobile bus and being interviewed like this, but I salute you. This is a fantastic idea.
Okay, can you give one word for APMF? What do you think?
Outstanding.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes. Apa kabarnya teman-teman? Teman-teman yang sekarang lagi ada di YouTube-nya Opal. Of course, right now we have such a special show for you. Biasanya kita kan ada di Jakarta aja nih. Hari ini kita ada di Nusa Dua Bali. Of course, welcome. This is Opal X APMF 2022 dengan temanya Buzzperience Podcast. Oke, so untuk hari ini kita bakal ngobrol-ngobrol barengan sama banyak banget orang-orang hebat, dari CEO, dari orang-orang yang memang ada di dunia advertising, media, and so much more, guys. Dan untuk hari ini, we have a very special guest in our Buzz studio. Right now, we have Prakash Kamdar right here, CEO of Dentsu Singapura and Indonesia. Welcome.
Thank you so much, really. Thanks for having me. It's a real, big wave for me to all our audiences. This is such an amazing setup that you have here.
Hey, thank you so much. This is our mobile podcasting studio. Definitely, this is where we make all our podcasts. And thank you for coming through, because I guess this is your first time in APMF?
It is, and it's been amazing so far.
Awesome. So talk a little bit about that. How was your first time over here?
Yeah, well, firstly, I have to admit it's really strange for me to come back to Bali after four years now, and to come for work, not for a holiday, right? But it's been amazing from the moment I landed. The experience has been amazing. The hospitality has been awesome. The speaker lineups, I'm really excited about the rest of the day and tomorrow as well. So yeah, it's been fantastic. I think the quality of the show, the speakers, the content is something that's really impressive.
Nice. What were your expectations before you came here, and did it meet your expectations?
Well, it's already exceeded my expectations.
Okay. We can see that. Now, we've seen what's happening right now in APMF. Such an amazing lineup as well. So, which part of the event did you like the most, or was most impactful to you?
Well, it is early so far. I mean, it's just the first half of the day thus far.
Yeah.
But we've already heard from it's hard for me to pick, to be honest.
Okay.
It's already been a wonderful lineup of speakers. I've had the good fortune of also being on stage, and it was so. Maybe I'm going to be a little biased here. I'll say that the conversation I had with my fellow four panelists, right, was just amazing.
Yeah, man. Okay, can you give one word for APMF? What do you think it would be?
Outstanding.
That is outstanding. Just like, your panel as well, with your speakers and everybody. I was just thinking, like, wow, back in, I don't know, you said that you started your agency, you started into your advertising when it was 2001, was it?
That's right.
Right after or not even after, but during the Asian crisis and everything. So can you talk a little bit about that, of how you got started into advertising?
So, bit of, I guess, history to this is I studied mass communication. So for all of you communication students out there, I'm one of y'all, right? And I graduated in 1997, and I had a choice of joining. Actually, I was being groomed to become a journalist.
Okay, a journalist,
right? But I could write well, but I didn't necessarily want to write.
Okay.
So I had an offer from an advertising agency, right, to join as an account executive, and And the interesting story about that is that it was an international agency. I'll not name that agent, which agency that was. But I then, by chance, ended up meeting a co-founder of what was known as a multimedia agency.
Okay.
Back then, our industry, now it's called digital.
Yeah.
In 1997, that was known as multimedia.
Okay.
Right. And I, after meeting him, I was so inspired, and I've always had a deep love for design, for technology, for marketing, and when all of it comes together and the magic that gets created, right? So I thought, well, okay, but I turned down the job at the international advertising agency, and I joined a local multimedia agency, and that's what started my career in what is now known as digital.
Wow.
Right. So about 4 years later, having worked in a couple of agencies, a few of us got together and said, well, let's start our own agency.
Yeah.
I've come from a business family, so I guess at some point in time, starting up my own company was always, I guess, in the cards.
It was in the books, right? Yeah.
And so we started that up in 2001. And yes, a lot of folks told me, at that time, because there was the time of the dot-com crash.
Yeah,
the
true.
first dot-com crash.
Yeah.
There have been several crashes after that, but that was the first one, right? And everyone thought, well, are you mad to be starting up an agency at this time? In fact, there are a lot of agencies that are closing down. And my response to them was, well, firstly, I think this was a healthy correction, and I think this is just the beginning of the digital revolution.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful time to join, to start, because the correction has occurred, and I think the future is very bright ahead, actually, because there's always a hype cycle.
Okay.
There's a lot of hype, and then once the hype goes away, then the reality starts. Right?
Yeah, true.
So that's why we started at the time. And secondly, it was because I've always believed that the best time to actually start a business is during the bad times, or the so-called bad times, because that's where opportunities lie, opportunities to do something new, something different. And that's why that's when I started, co-founded the agency.
Wow, that's amazing. That ties into what we are experiencing now, definitely.
Yep.
Because what we're happening right now is, 2023, recession and everything. But, as you have done before, that even during the crises, even during all these stuff that's happening, you were still looking for opportunities, actually finding opportunities over there.
That's right.
And then, of course, Dentsu acquired your agency. Is that correct? Right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's true as well. And now you're the CEO of it. That's something very special to be looked at.
It is. I'm very fortunate, again, for the trust that my colleagues have placed in me. After I sold our business to Dentsu, and I was running one of the brands within Dentsu in Singapore. And then in 2019, I was approached to take on the role of heading up the whole group in Singapore. And earlier this year, I succeeded. I succeeded an incredible leader in Maya Watono.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so huge shoes to fill.
Okay.
But I've been very fortunate to have the trust and the support of some wonderful people throughout my career thus far.
Wow. You're in your panel as well. You're talking about putting care in the consumers and all that stuff. I think that ties into your values. Can you talk a little bit about your values as well and why caring for the consumer is very important?
Yeah, look, I mean, my values aren't complicated. If I'm honest, I think at the end of the day, I always ask myself that would I be proud of what I've done or who I am, and when I look at myself in the mirror, before I go to sleep at night. And if I know that I've done good, if I've helped, right, then that's something that helps me sleep better at night, right? Therefore, for me, it's always my own conscience, right? My values are ultimately respect, always giving people respect, genuinely being truthful and honest, right? Honest to yourself first and foremost, right? And genuinely sort of wanting to help people, right? If you want to help, and my role model will always be my father, who passed away 34 years ago.
Wow.
And I say this to a lot of people, right? Not a year has gone by since he passed away, where someone doesn't come up to me and say, "This is what your father did for us."
Wow.
Right? Not 1 year has gone. First, it used to be his friends. Now it's his friends' children
Wow.
who come and tell me, "This is what your father did for us." You don't. And every time someone surprises me, so now that's a life well lived, because he helped.
Yeah.
Right? He helped so many people that 34 years later, people still talk about him, and that's for me. That to me is the kind of life that's how I want to be remembered as well.
Yeah.
Right? That I helped.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Such a great story. So if you can help Gen Zs out there that's actually watching us, as a CEO of an amazing company, and of course you have a lot of knowledge with you, right? If you can share any knowledge about, I don't know, maybe digital marketing techniques, or maybe how to start their career. Let's just say that, start their career in digital marketing. What should Gen Zs do?
That's a great question. I mean, I think firstly, I think Gen Zs are smarter than many of us these days as well. So maybe I believe everyone learns from each other.
Yeah.
Right. So I could learn as much from Gen Zs as they could learn from me as well. We can all learn of each other, and that's what's powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
I'd say that, look, if in anything that you do, whether it's digital marketing or any career that you decide to pursue, right? You have to have a genuine love and passion for it, right? You've got to ask yourself, do you really, can you see yourself waking up every morning wanting to do this, right? And when it comes to sort of, and rather than sort of looking at just purely from a digital marketing point of view, that's why I said when it comes to Gen Zs, I think digital marketing will be natural to you, because you're born with that. It's almost, I feel like you were born with the mobile device next to you.
True.
True. And you know how to leverage the power of social connections to spread the message. So there's a lot of the marketing that you see today, right, is centered around a lot of connection, right? Yeah. Building connections with people, and frankly, that's always been the case. What technology has done is that it's democratized it, it's accelerated it. Yeah. Right. So, fundamentally, I think what you have to have is a genuine love for brands, right? To the power of brands to build brands. You've got to have a genuine love for consumers, as in, and one step higher than a consumer is humans, right? That today, if I can help bring a brand or a service or a product, right, closer to a consumer who needs that brand or product or consumer, and you want to help bridge that connection, that's incredibly powerful, and that's when you know that this is something you really would enjoy doing, right? So I'd say it's about the genuine passion for and the genuine love for brands, for and bringing brands closer to people.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of just helping the consumer, just connecting, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. That is amazing. Now, if that's something that you would say to a Gen Z, now how would you market to a Gen Z?
How would I market to? Well, I'd say that my advice to any brand today is that with Gen Zs, they've actually, Gen Zs have grown up being part of communication as opposed to being spoken to, right? So what we mean by that, it's about co-creation, right? Gen Zs want to be a part of the process. Gen Zs don't want to be, although I'm not a Gen Z, but we've done various Gen Z studies, including one done by Dentsu Indonesia as well, right? And what we've observed, and there are about 473 million Gen Zs in Indonesia, the third highest in APAC, right? And what we've always observed and what they've told us, right, is that make us a part of the process, right? Co-create with us, co-curate with us. So some of the most powerful communication that you see out there to Gen Zs is actually, it's not to Gen Zs, it's with Gen Zs.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
That's interesting. So it's not just a one-way streak of saying something, but it's more of a co-creation, or maybe working together with that. Yeah, absolutely, the collaboration, and that's what makes it incredibly powerful. Gen Zs want to be a part of the communication. Wow. Not be spoken with. Wow, that's amazing. That's something that opens my eyes, definitely. So, marketing to a Gen Z, you need more of a, telling them, not telling, but also doing with them as well, right?
You're a Gen Z, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
You're a Gen Z, and here we are together, and we are co-creating.
Yeah,
Right? This content. So that's a perfect example of that's what makes it exciting. That's what your Gen Z listeners and watchers are actually interested in. It's the co-creation.
Dang, see that's some knowledge right there, man. All right, so last question is, how does it feel to be on a podcast? You know, in a bus in Opal's bus studio right now.
This is the first for me, and it is the most amazing experience. I mean, I've never been on a mobile bus and being interviewed like this, but I salute you. This is a fantastic idea. And really kudos. It's a fantastic experience.
Awesome. So we would love to have you back very soon. Of course, you're a very busy man. You know, you have other things to do in APMF, and enjoy the rest of the day. Okay.
Terima kasih banyak. Thanks so much.
Alright guys, ini dia Opal X APMF Buzzperience Podcast barengan sama Willy Winarko juga. Jangan lupa buat follow semua sosial media kita di @opal_id. We'll see you later. Bye bye. Peace.